Hi, this is Anis from Never Stop Trucking. We're talking about factoring again, and I want to explain to you a difference between recourse and non-recourse. You have heard probably this term before, and you have to be very careful when negotiating rates and contracts with factoring company if you are a trucking carrier. You will hear this as a part of their pitch when they say this is a non-recourse. Now, usually they will not advertise if it's a recourse, only if it's non-recourse, or lately factoring companies have come up with a new term. It's called true non-recourse. So what's a recourse? Recourse is basically if a broker does not pay you, they decide for some reason, for any reason, not to pay for a load, then you as a carrier will get charged back from a factoring company. So the way factoring usually works is you do a load and your truck delivers that load, and now you have a POD. You send an invoice to your factoring company with the rate confirmation from that broker showing that specific lane, the terms of payment, how much the payment was, and the rate confirmation has to be in your company's name, meaning being payable to your company name. After you do that load, you send that invoice with your invoice with the rate confirmation and with the POD, which is usually a signed bill of lading. You send it to your factoring company. Of course, a factoring company has to be able to work with this broker. So before you book a load, you will have to ask your factoring company. Usually they have access online and you can have your own account, and then you can check the broker to see whether the factoring company will work with that broker. If for some reason you book a load with a broker and you don't check that broker's rating with your factoring company, the factoring company usually will tell you, hey, we are not going to buy that invoice from you. You can't send it to us. We're not going to pay for that money to you because we've had bad history with the broker, or they're too new, or something else is going on. Then you would usually have to bill the broker directly and wait for the payment from them to come to you directly. So you're kind of going around the factoring company. They're not charging you their fee, but you have to wait 30 days or sometimes more to get paid. So you check the broker. The factoring company says it's okay, you can work with that broker. You book the load. Your truck delivers the load. You produce an invoice. You send all the paperwork to your factoring company, and then factoring company will give you that payment right away, sometimes same day, most of the times the next day, because that's the cheapest way to get it, because you're not getting charged for the wire transfer, you're getting charged only for the ACH transfer, which is a minimal fee. So great, the factoring company gave you all that money minus their fees, which is around like 3% for new companies. It can be less for companies that have more trucks, that have been in business for a longer time. So let's say they're charging you 2 to 3%. This load was paying $1,000. Now, let's say it's a 3% charge from your factoring company, so that's $30. So you're getting those $970 right away. Great, okay? Now, the factoring company will wait for the broker to pay them. So like I said, it's usually 30 days. It can be more, it can be less. But usually around 60 days, factoring company will start getting nervous if they don't get paid by the broker. Then they're going to push them more. They're going to push you, maybe say, hey, can you call the broker and see what's going on? Why are they not paying? And then after 60 days, depending on the factoring company, they if they see that the broker is absolutely not paying, maybe even after 90 days, they will say, hey, you know what, this broker is not paying. When you send us your invoices next time, we will just deduct that money, those $970 from your invoices, and we're going to take that money back because the broker is not paying. So this is called recourse factoring. Usually, most factoring companies will not guarantee you that you're going to get paid. Factoring companies usually don't guarantee that. The only thing that they do is provide you with funds in advance so you can work with those funds. They don't stand behind you. They can call the brokers. They will call brokers. They will check the brokers for you, so that way you're making your risk smaller because they have more ways to check brokers. They have history and other ways to check them out that you don't have. So that's a good thing, and they will prevent you to work with a bad broker. So that's also great. But if something happens, a broker all of a sudden, they're doing bad, they don't have the funds, something is going on, and things happen, then the broker still might not want to pay the factoring company for that load. And in this case, if you have a recourse contract with a factoring company, they will just charge you back, they will take their money, and that's it. All right. Now, if you are in a non-recourse contract, then the factoring company will claim that even if the broker does not pay after those 30 or 60 or 90 days, that they still will pay you, meaning they will not charge you back for that money. But you have to be really careful. I worked with a factoring company. It was a Wax Fleet one a long time ago, and they were one of the worst. Like, everyone was complaining about them. So they claimed that the contract is non-recourse, but actually it was only in the case if a broker went bankrupt. So that was the only case. If the broker decided not to pay just because, then they would not stand behind you. They will still charge you back. But only if they find out the broker went out of business and they claimed bankruptcy, then they said, okay, we will not charge you back. It's okay. And I actually had that one time happen to me. This broker, I can't remember the broker's name, something with Winds, Trade Winds, something like that. They went out of business. They filed for bankruptcy, and it was like over $3,000, and they did not charge me back. All right. But then I also had instances where brokers decided not to pay, and they in fact did charge me back. Now, there are other factoring companies right now who came up with this term, like true non-recourse. So supposedly it means that they will not charge you back. They will cover that no matter what happens, whether the broker goes out of business, bankruptcy, or they just decide not to pay, whatever the reason is. But still, I don't believe that. You will have to not just ask your agent or the salesman, like before you sign a contract. You will also have to read that contract and ask questions about everything that's not clear to you, and maybe even have additional information in writing, maybe even have a lawyer. That would be a good way to start a business with a new factoring company. Maybe have a lawyer look at that contract before you start working with them. So this is the most simple explanation that I could think of, and show you the difference between these two, or now three different ways of factoring: recourse, non-recourse, and true non-recourse. If you need a good factoring company that has been in business for a long time, check out RTS. Link is in the description of this video. I've been working with them for a long time, and they always have some kind of specials going on. And I have a friend that actually works for them that can help you through the setup. Very good guy. His name is Amel. Thanks for watching. This is Never Stop Trucking. Come back for more, and I'll see you around.